Well, I worked at W Station as a mechanic,
Yeah.
and we were servicing some of the equipment at the the floors.
It's okay.
Magazine floors where they had the turbines,
Right.
and turbines were run by the water from the Latrobe River channels, and there was a lot of eels in there.
Eels.
Eels.
Ooh. Yep.
And in the early days there wasn't many carp
Right.
like I've got now, but they were trout that was in there then.
Yep.
And then in the 70s, well, they got the carp in there.
Yep.
And that made a bit more mud and stuff.
Yes. Yep.
So I was actually working in the Yallourn transport workshops
Yep.
for the motor mechanics and bulldozers and everything from a motor mower right through to a D8 and D10 tractors.
Yep.
Caterpillar tractors.
Yep. How big were they? Just as a.
How big were they? They
Yep.
were quite big. They were a lot bigger than the early ones. The early ones were D8s and D7s, and they were small compared to these other ones.
Right.
The 9s and 10s, well, they had a very tapered track on them.
Right.
And the back of the track was higher than the front of the track.
Yep.
And which gave them more stability going up the ramps.
Yes.
And then they had the big Mac dump trucks as
Yeah.
well.
The maintenance side of things as a mechanic.
Yes.
How often, or how many, for a start, how many trucks and vehicles, things, you know, lawnmowers, etc., actually came into your workshop, say on average in a week, roughly?
Well, let's put it this way, there was over 500 cars
Right.
and utilities.
Yep.
And another, say 300 diesel trucks,
Right.
and then the big trucks, well, we only had a few of those. We had probably about 6 or 8 of the big diesels with the Caterpillar motors.
Yep.
And a lot of odd machines, which used to be like an overhead loader,
Okay.
which they used to drive into the heap of material.
Yep.
And they'd drive into it, and then when they filled the bucket, they'd go right over the top of themselves
Oh.
and
Okay.
down the other side
Yeah.
to dump them into the trucks.
Right.
And they were rope operated,
Ah.
no hydraulics.
No.
And the early dozers, they were rope operated winches.
Right.
And later on they all went to hydraulic.
Yep.
And steel rams and things like that.
Right.
So that was a big improvement
Yep.
over the wartime ones.
Definitely.
Like our ones were machinery that we had when I started work.
Yep.
Were all ex World War II army stuff.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And so they all still had their numbers on them from the Air Force and
Ah.
the Army and some of the Navy ones in other places.
Yep.
And so they were all well used and abused
Yep.
before they come to us.
Yeah.
And so we had to patch them all up before we could get them to go properly.
Right.
Yeah.
So you started work there in the 70s, was it?
No, I started there in 1956.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought that was only the 70s. My mistake. So you started then. How did you get the job? How did you start off?
I applied for an apprenticeship
Right.
and as a motor mechanic.
Right.
And when we done the interview, they said, "Do you realise that being a motor mechanic is a dirty job?" And things like that. And I said, "Well, I'm not afraid of hard work and I'm not afraid of getting my hands dirty."
Yep.
And that impressed the boss. And
Okay.
so I got a job, which a lot of other ones didn't get jobs.
Yep.
But there was other jobs for them that if they didn't want to get their hands dirty or if they weren't handy with tools.
Yep.
They wanted to do bookwork or something like that. They went as a clerk or a office boy or
Yep.
even as tea boys,
Yep.
which used to go around with the billy and the trolley.
Yep.
And they used to pour out the tea into the cups, into the mugs.
Yep.
And there was more than one type of mug too.
Yeah.
Human ones and others. Anyway, I have a bit of fun on it.
Yep.
And so as the job progressed, we had our own workshops that could overhaul any size of vehicle,
Right.
and we used to do all the work in-house.
Right.
We didn't hire any out.
Okay.
And then later on, when they privatised the SEC,
Yep.
then everything was farmed out to contractors.
Right.
And then the place wasn't the same after that.
No.
Because,
No.
I won't name the Premier at the time, but he's still around, he's still alive.
Yep. No politics in this video.
No, I won't go into politics.
So, did you enjoy actually working there? And what were the best things in your job that attracted you to staying on there for as long as you did?
The best thing in the job was the comradeship.
Right.
The friendships that you built up.
Yes.
And they were everlasting friendships.
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
still got a few of them that are still alive.
That's right. Yeah.
But they're most of the workers, the mechanics and the bosses and all of them were ex-servicemen,
Right.
and there's a few of them that had quite a few problems and like shell shock and
Yeah.
sickness and things. And
Yeah.
they were looked after by the SEC.
Yep.
And I worked in Morwell.
Yep.
I worked in Loyang,
Loyang. Yep.
and I worked in the big one in Hazelwood.
Hazelwood. Yes. Yep.
And I worked in all the power stations that were on
Yes. Yep.
in different places, and I was an overseer or foreman.
Right. Because we
in charge of the crews.
we no longer have the Hazelwood one, and we no longer have the Morwell one. Yallourn's the next to be shut down,
Yes.
and then Loyang eventually.
Yeah.
So
The Loyang one will be closed down too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? How do you feel about losing all the power stations for the valley?
Well, it was a case of keeping up with the times.
Yep.
And the coal dust that came from the power station chimneys originally
Yep.
were like briquettes.
Yep.
And they were black
Dust.
dark brown
Yeah.
coal.
Yeah.
But and the streets in Yallourn used to be covered in coal dust.
Yeah.
And the same washing for the ladies and people that lived in Morwell, Latrobe.
Yep.
All of those places had coal dust.
Yep.
And but the cooling towers in W Station.
Yep.
Actually, it was W 2, 3, and 4 power stations, and they had big chimneys, funnel type windows.
Yep.
And a lot of steam coming out the top.
That's right. Which people mistake as pollution.
Yeah, and the steam that was coming out at the top was pure steam.
Yes.
But the skinny chimneys that went up beside them,
Yeah.
they were the ones that had the coal dust.
That's right. Yeah.
And then they put things called precipitators on the top of the chimneys and in the boilers.
Yep.
And that cut back the amount of dust that went up there.
Yep.
And instead of doing that, they had it used to go out to out to the beach, out to sail,
Right.
and they pumped out the water through pipes
Right.
and went all the way through there and then out to the sea.
Wow.
Oh, we've had a good ride.
Yep. We have.
I'm quite happy.
Yeah.
And so we've just got to go with the times.
Yeah.
Do what we've got to do.
Yeah.
To keep on keeping on.
That's exactly right.
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.